These are for you, brother, from the ladies on the panel.
Okay.
Why, when you get a good woman, you guys don't know how to keep them? Question mark.
We do know how to keep them. We just not interested. Like y'all definition of what's good is not our definition of what's good.
Yeah. All right.
We know how to keep y'all if we want y'all.
Exactly. Why men never know what they want? Why guys always want the good girl for marriage and end up cheating with the bad one?
White guys are cucks. White guys are the biggest cucks.
Especially them rich niggas.
100%.
Yeah.
Or Diddy.
Free Diddy.
Yeah, free Diddy.
You're insane for that.
Free Diddy.
That nigga did nothing wrong.
Crazy
Free
for
Diddy.
that.
Yeah, he's just a big freak. I agree.
100%.
Why do you disagree?
He's a freak.
Miss India, why do you say he's crazy for that? Give us your take.
Have you ever met Diddy?
There's like so many victims. Like, I'm sorry.
Are you saying so?
Yo,
or have you met
honestly,
them?
bro, this is the type
so
of chick you can
many.
catch a case from.
Yes, bro.
Honest to God,
She
bro.
will fucking say he raped me when it's consensual.
100%. Y'all,
You're scary.
listen, fellas,
Okay, stay away from
watch
me.
these type of chicks, bro, because this is the type of
watch
chick
out.
that'll wake
Do
up the
not.
next day and then feel like
Yeah.
something happened to her, and next
Feel
thing you know,
like,
you'll
yeah.
ruin your fucking life, bro.
Forcing women is feeling like.
Okay, well, let's hear her out. So, give us why do you think you disagree with that and he shouldn't be freed and why it's bad? Go ahead.
Sorry.
You said there was a lot of victims, so like I want to get your perspective.
There were a lot of
Go ahead.
victims, and if you listen to the case at all and the women's testimony, you cannot tell me that every single one of those women, they talked about their trauma and how fucking horrible it was. Like, you can't tell me that all of them are liars. You cannot honestly tell me that. Like, I just don't believe that.
Well, hold on, wait a minute. So,
like, okay,
Myron,
maybe it fits
hold on.
Okay, yeah. Dude,
Myron,
fine.
wasn't you in the
3,
courtroom?
Yeah, I was actually. That's why I wanted to hear what her take was on.
So
a lot
you
of
was
this
in the
stuff.
courtroom, so you actually heard the testimony
Yeah.
firsthand, not secondhand, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So your thing is like the victims.
The victims, don't you guys like there's hurt, like the way that they talk about it, like, and you can't just like
Come on, Chris, let her
discredit
talk.
that. You can't discredit that. Like, sorry, yeah, you can't discredit that. That's crazy to me.
Okay.
So, who
go ahead.
actually? So okay, what made him a victim?
What do you mean?
What made him a victim? They all participated on their own free will, and they all came back, and they all continuously did it,
Did
and
you
they all
not see
benefited
the
from the
power
lifestyle.
imbalance? Like, this man is a multi-billionaire.
So it's because of the power imbalance.
Listen, this is a multi-billionaire, and then these are women, like Cassie. She was a woman who's trying to get into the industry. How would she get there? Through Diddy. So she's gonna do
So
whatever.
she used her, is what you're saying?
Listen to me. Listen to me. Here's the thing.
Let's hear her out, guys. Let's hear her out.
Can you guys
figure it out.
listen to me?
Let's hear her out. Let her speak. Go ahead. You have the
so
mic. Go
if
ahead.
your boss tells you to do something, you're gonna do it whether you like it or not. And that's just what it is. To get ahead, you're gonna do it.
That's selling your soul then. You
You sell your soul in corporate, everywhere, corporate America, any like service
And that
job.
constitutes-
You're selling your body, you're selling your soul.
And that constitute him going to jail for the rest of his life.
Why not? He
But
did the
you
he
hear
did
this
the
shit,
deed.
bro?
He did the deed.
But
She said, "Why not?"
So hold on. Let me get it straight.
That's
if your boss tells
crazy,
you to
bro.
go suck his dick, what are you gonna do?
You don't go do it?
No.
Absolutely not. But
Shit.
Wait. So you won't do it, right?
Yeah, she
So
going.
that's a full
But the
choice.
thing
No,
is,
hold on,
plenty of
stop.
bosses
You
say
made a
that.
choice to say no, right? Cassie said yes. So is he a bad person for her saying yes?
He made her think that she was.
So your boss,
She
can
had a choice.
tell you that
She
he'll
could say
raise
no.
your pay.
I don't want to do this. I
But
go somewhere else.
what if multiple women are saying it wasn't our choice? It wasn't our choice. He coerced us. How can you still say that it's not your choice?
Wait,
hold on.
First of all, have you met Diddy before?
No.
Obviously. That was my first question.
Yeah,
hold on.
But she's crying though. So is
Have you met
she
Cassie?
a victim personally?
No. But plenty of women are victims, and I feel for them. That's why I have empathy.
You don't know these.
You know?
Hold on. Do you know them personally?
No, I don't know them. But I've heard their
That's
testimonies.
the point. I know some of them, and they're fucking lying. And then two, you know what's crazy? Cassie wanted to do this herself. She's the one that called the fucking prostitute and said, "Listen, come over here and fuck me in front of Diddy." She called them herself personally.
It's a cuck.
So it's not, he's a bad person. They wanted to do it too.
She was on copious amounts of drugs. She was way younger.
That's
That's a choice.
It was her choice.
That's a choice.
Like it's your choice.
Nobody forced anybody to do anything against their will.
Yeah, they was having swinger parties. Like
at the worst,
They wanted
at
to do it.
worst, you might have got a domestic violence situation, but that's at
But
worst.
domestic violence is still pretty bad, and the way
Domestic
did you watch
violence
the
is
video?
not the same
Okay, let's
thing.
not talk about
Yes,
like,
I
the
watched
evidence
the
we don't
video.
have. Let's talk about the assault. How violent was that? Do you want somebody treating your daughter
That's
like
fucked
that?
up.
Do you
For
want
sure.
your dog?
Like I said, at worst, it was domestic violence. It
that's
wasn't.
why they ask who comes from two-parent households
isn't
and
capable
shit like
of
that.
worse.
Like
If he's doing that in public, do you
Y'all
think
gotta
he's not?
understand that. Listen, she goes to MSU. This is a very liberal indoctrination camp, and they are teaching that you are a victim, regardless of whether you're an adult, whether you make a conscious decision yourself. You can use men. You can come up. She can get rich as a
Not
result of
everybody's
it.
a victim, but victims are victims.
Shut up, bitch.
Y'all bet. Listen, anybody that get with her, be careful, bro.
Yeah, bro.
That's all I gotta
Okay,
say.
so I'm trying to understand your position. So your position is, look, they're victims. This was fucked up. He should go to jail because he coerced them through his power, billions, and the power imbalance between him and these relationships.
No.
Okay. So with that said, would you be okay with women being second-class citizens then?
No, absolutely not. Why would I be okay with that?
Okay, so
Nobody should be a second class
fair.
citizen.
So women
men,
are equal
anybody.
and sovereign citizens, and they have all the same equal rights and privileges as men.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
if we're going to give women the same agency to make their own decisions, wouldn't it be fair to say that they got to deal with consequences of said decisions?
I mean, sure, but if a man was also getting beat up like that, I would be like, hey, this should end. Men also take advantage of men all the time. Yeah, gay relationships exist, and men do take advantage of other men, and those men also deserve justice.
My thing is,
Victims
like,
deserve justice.
At
That
some
is my
point,
thing.
like, I see your perspective. You're saying they're victims or whatever, but there's a reason why they couldn't convict them on the sex trafficking. They only convicted him on the interstate
The reason
transportation of
was Diddy
prostitutes.
has a fuck ton of money, and he can pay people to shut the fuck up.
That's not
That's
what
actually
happened.
not what happened. Like,
What are you
here's the
talking
thing.
about?
So I actually
believe
watched the
everything
trial
on
and I listened to
social
the
media.
testimony and I listened to Cassie's testimony.
I listened to all the testimonies too. I
did?
followed it.
bitch.
You was there?
I wasn't there, but
So
I
how did you
followed
listen
it.
to the testimony?
Stephanie Sue, she was there. She's a reporter. She's very credited. No, and I listened to all of it, and you know, you cannot tell me your heart didn't break when those women were talking. You cannot tell me that.
So here's the thing.
I don't believe it.
Okay, so I actually listened to Cassie's testimony the whole time, and
And
the
you
thing
thought
was,
she's a liar. Like,
I'm not doubting what she said. Some of it was true, but you got to understand that a lot of it was consensual, and that's why they didn't convict. Because
a lot of it was consensual.
yes,
Not all of it was consensual.
But here's the thing:
It
we
should
don't
be
know.
all
where's the
consensual.
line though? It's like I feel like there's like a thin line on
Girl,
that.
there's a line. The line is clear.
Yes,
It's
a victim
there.
is a victim,
No, the line is
but
there.
you've never been to no, you've never done no freak ass shit, so you don't get it. That's all.
All right, let me just be.
Like that's what it comes down
all right,
to.
look,
Like
look,
she's
look.
in college, she
Ladies,
hasn't got
ladies,
freaked
no,
out.
listen,
Ladies,
listen,
ladies,
listen to me.
ladies,
Like,
just
and
be
that's
quiet for 2
okay.
Listen to
seconds.
me. If you want to
Just
be
be, hold on, hold
do
on,
it.
hold on. I let
For
you
sure.
speak. I let you speak.
Sorry.
Listen, I was there and I listened to all of Cassie's testimony. I was there in the courtroom looking at her big pregnant ass as she was talking. Okay? Let me be clear about this. It's either women have agency and the ability to make their own sexual decisions and they have to bear the consequences of said sexual decisions, or we're going to go your route where they're a victim and we need to infantilize them. Now, if we're going to go ahead and look at women as equal partners in society and equal human beings, etc., they have to be and have agency, then they have to deal with said consequences of agency. She was with Diddy for like damn near 10 years. Okay? And throughout the relationship, they had a loving relationship where she was out on the red carpet with him, benefiting significantly with the whole career and everything. He put her in the studio with a bunch of artists. She made a bunch of music, made a bunch of money, and he put her on. And she chose to be with him. Now, she talked quite a bit about how she didn't like the fact that she was never elevated to the level of Kim Porter, his wife, at the time, and how she didn't spend holidays with him, and she
And
had
that will make
resentment,
people bitter.
and how she felt as though she had her career robbed from her, whatever. But the reality is she got $10 million from Intercontinental Hotel, from the footage that you're talking about. She got another $20 million from the settlement. This was a very personal vendetta, and a lot of the sexual interactions that she had with him, if not all, were consensual. And this is why they couldn't convict him on the sex trafficking. Same thing with Mila, and same thing with the other girl, 50 Cent's baby mom. They couldn't convict them on sex trafficking because they didn't know what was consensual, what wasn't. And the reality is these women chose to be with him, to include 50 Cent's baby mama, and he was still paying her bills as she was sitting there testifying against him, and she said that she loved him. So it's very important to understand that like a lot of these women had financial interests and they were suing him civilly while they were doing this criminal case. And that's why they didn't convict on the sex trafficking. They were only able to find him guilty on interstate transport of prostitutes. And
ask the
honestly,
question.
going to jail for transporting male prostitutes is retarded. But, you know, and he's a weirdo for that. But the reality is that they couldn't convict him of sex trafficking. This stuff was consensual.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Would it be different? Could they have convicted him if he didn't pay them like millions of dollars in testimony? Like not testimony, sorry. Like if he didn't pay them that $10 settlement and that $20 million settlement,
Well,
all
he
the
didn't pay the $10
settlements.
million. That was Intercontinental Hotel.
Well, if
and
he
that came
didn't
out during
get
the
that
trial, by
money-
the way. She
and,
tried to hide that.
also, no.
Nigga, he was there.
He was there.
Bro, this is incredible how, like, yeah.
What the fuck?
It got broken out, literally. No one knew that she had a settlement with Intercontinental Hotel for $10 million. That came out in court.
Well,
Diddy's
it's a
defense team found
high-profile
out, like,
case.
literally
Of
days
course there's
before.
gonna be settlements. Like that doesn't
What?
make it's a high profile case. Of course they're gonna have like settlements.
Yo, are you retarded, nigga? God damn.
Bro,
The settlement that was high profile was when she sued Diddy at the end of, I think it was 2022 or 2023. She sued him, and she wanted $33 million. She got $20 million. But she quietly negotiated with Intercontinental Hotel for another $10 million
Yeah,
that
they
nobody
should
knew
have
about.
stayed quiet. Like she deserved that money.
She deserved $30 million.
I mean, she was
Okay,
abused
I'm not-
horribly. I feel like
You're moving the
and
goalposts.
trauma.
You're
trauma
moving, dude.
she's gonna
dude,
still live
yo,
with
yo,
that
yo, yo, yo.
trauma.
You got to stop being emotional for 2 seconds. You're moving the goalposts. I'm simply telling you that she settled for $10 million with Intercontinental outside of court, and she didn't disclose that until it came out in court, and that's why it was shocking. So the point I'm trying to make here is that clearly there's a financial and personal vendetta here. Also, another big thing, she had sex with Diddy while she was still with her husband.
I was about to
at
say,
the
she
time.
started fucking her
That
trainer.
came out,
And so
and
did
that
Diddy.
came out
married
Diddy was
after.
also married, and he had multiple girlfriends.
Diddy is not married.
He was. His wife mysteriously died.
So she alleged that he raped her in 2020.
Jesus Christ,
Okay.
bro.
See, this is you're just talking out your ass because you don't even know what you're talking about. You're just like
Yeah, you're just talking.
talking. So what happened was allegedly he raped her in August of 2018, right? Then a month later, she was having consensual sex with him at his house, and her boyfriend at the time, who's now her fucking husband, called her on FaceTime.
And they were fucking on FaceTime.
And that came out in court. So
For that.
the other thing that makes this really questionable is like, well, did he really rape you or assault you and all this other stuff? Or are you just trying to save face with the current husband you have now? That's another reason, too, why it calls into question her credibility. So she had multiple personal lawsuits going on with him, and she had a husband who obviously had a beef with Diddy, and she cheated on her boyfriend at the time that she was dating seriously to have sex with Diddy when he called her on FaceTime. This all came out of court. This is why her credibility got trashed. And then the other girl, Mila, who they tried to keep her personality hidden, she's a white girl basically, that worked as his manager, she was also posting on Instagram how much she loved him and stuff like that after he had fired her and they had these problems. And then the other girl, 50 Cent's baby mom, she also had questionable credibility. She was still getting money from him at the time. He was paying all her bills when she was there. And she admitted that she loved him. She just didn't like that he didn't take her on trips to TCI like everybody else.
Yeah.
So a lot of these women that came out against him had an axe to grind.
I mean, okay, like if you want to defend a multi-billionaire who literally there's proof of him like beating up women, then that's your business.
Well,
but
Cassie beat him up, too.
Respectfully,
Here's the
I
thing.
can't agree with you.
Okay, look, Cassie assaulted him too multiple times. This all came out of trial. She punched him in the face multiple times. That's why they had a violent, turbulent relationship. They both beat on each other.
Okay. Fine, you know
next.
more. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Next
If you were
topic.
there, I can't
Like,
debate
I
with you on this because you were there. So I don't
But
know.
why are you
anything.
looking to debate?
I'm not trying to debate. I'm just like we're having a conversation and it's turning into a debate because we disagree.
No, it's he's giving you the facts of what it is that he actually observed
And witness.
watching it
I just
in
can't
court.
ever stand for people
And here's the thing.
who are like abusive.
A jury,
I think
a
it-
jury of the peers, very important here, a jury of his peers, of people that were there that heard all the testimony, also didn't believe the witnesses clearly. That's why they didn't find him guilty on sex trafficking. Because
He
remember,
also had
it was 2 to 3
amazing
different counts
lawyers
of
'cause he's
sex.
extremely rich.
You're
And-
supposed to have good lawyers.
Yeah, absolutely. But
You gotta
like,
have good lawyers.
if you have lawyers, they twist the narrative. Like,
What?
yeah,
Yeah, but the
absolutely.
law is
That's
the
how
law, like-
the law
Yo,
works.
you're
And
dumb,
you
bro.
guys
if you're
ever
in a
watch,
court of
like,
law, like
You're
it's
dumb.
Ever
not
watch
just
any law shows,
the lawyer
bro?
there.
I would argue that I would argue that he's lucky he even, like, the odds were stacked against him.
Right.
You had a federal trial, you had
Right.
Maureen Coleman, you one of the best AUSA. She found Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, guilty. She get good prosecutor. They had 6 AUSAs on the case. Feds don't lose cases. It was H-Side New York that ran the case. Like, the odds were stacked against him. And then also remember, it was only negative media with the Diddy case. It wasn't. No one heard his side, or no one heard the witnesses be cross-examined until the trial.
No one-
So the fact that the jury
No defense.
found him innocent of
Yeah.
the sex trafficking, which were the most serious charges and the ones that the government felt as though they had the strongest case on, that should tell you that the credibility of the witnesses that they were using was not strong. And I'll be honest, I was there listening to Cassie. I listened to Milo's testimony and Diddy's girlfriend, 50 Cent's ex baby mom. It wasn't 100% truthful. There was a lot of credibility issues because like on one end they'd be like, oh yeah, he did XYZ to me, and then they'd be like, well, why does this conversation on the text message show that you say that you love him? Why are you contacting the escorts on his behalf saying, come over here and watch me get fucked?
Yep.
Like she was the one. Did you know that she was the one hiring all the escorts, paying for them? And
Yeah, I do know that.
So
But he didn't want to do anything with her. Like he wouldn't further her career
But
if
that
she
doesn't
didn't
matter.
do
What the
that.
what does that mean?
Him not furthering
it's
her
a rough
career.
industry. You know
I understand.
that's a
I see your
rough
perspective,
industry.
but you got to understand that him not furthering her career is not a crime. She was the one that was calling the escorts and setting up everything. She would pay them. She would organize for them to come to the hotels. She would do everything. He didn't do it. So is she really a victim?
and she'll call them when he's not there. By the way,
That was
Bro,
Diddy's.
I'm not
that was
furthering
50 Cent's
nothing.
baby mama.
If you're not giving up the pussy,
So at some
what the
point
fuck
we
is
got
you
to. Here's the
talking
thing, and this is the
about?
problem with feminism, right? And I could tell that you are one of these feminists.
Yes.
Here's the problem with you guys.
Absolutely.
You guys want the equal rights and opportunities and abilities as a man. Fair. I'm giving it to you. But that means you got to deal with the consequence of your action. The reality is, if you want to go ahead and have sexual agency and do what you want to do, you got to deal with the consequence of that. In her case, she got involved with a guy that had a lot of money. She fell in love with him. She didn't like what she got back in return, but she was actively involved in the degeneracy alongside him. That's not a crime.
Okay. Can I say something?
Sure.
no,
Yeah.
please no.
Sure.
There's enough things said
Okay,
about
no, like, so
Oh my
you can
God,
make
bro.
generalizations about women. I'm going to make a
Wait,
generalization about men.
Hey, guys,
Men are
yeah,
in,
guys,
when
hold on.
they're
Let her
in,
talk.
when they're in positions of power,
Yeah.
they use that power to coerce women. They use that power to harass women, to assault women, and everybody has probably experienced this. Like every woman has experienced sexual harassment. They've experienced unwanted advances. Women get sexualized in the workplace when
Sure.
they do not want to be sexualized, and that is Cassie's workplace.
You
Yeah,
should.
well,
do
she
you
could have
plan
left
on?
at any time, though. Why
do
did
you-
she leave?
Do you
What?
plan on? Do you plan on marrying a woman?
You're crazy.
No, I'm asking. It's a logical question because if
No.
this is the generalization that you have of men,
This is not
Why-
my generalization. I'm just saying that men do abuse their power. They do constantly all the time.
Okay, that's fine. Let's assume men abuse their power as you
All
claim.
the time.
Then whose fault is it for staying in said relationship?
yours.
If there's a power imbalance.
And here's the problem with feminism. On one side, you guys want equal rights, but then on the other side, you guys want to infantilize your bad decisions.
Listen, we want equal rights because there aren't equal rights.
what?
So that means if you get
Yeah.
equal rights, that means you got to deal with consequences of equal rights, right?
Well, how-
If I get in a bad relationship with a girl,
This is a
let's switch around. Let's
hypothetical.
switch around. Let's say I get into a relationship with a girl and she's powerful. She has more money than me. She abused the fuck out of me, right? And I stay in a relationship. And then I complain and say, oh, bro, I was abusing a relationship. Everyone's going to laugh at me and say, you fucking idiot, just leave. But we don't give women that same agency. We let you guys sit there and say, oh, well, it's okay. You're in an abusive relationship. And we build a fucking federal criminal case out of it, right? Obviously, the jury saw was like, yo, this is
There
you
was
just
so
making bad
many
decisions.
women. Like,
if you get into a relationship with a guy and you take advantage of him and he pays all of your bills and all of this other type of stuff and then y'all break up, should you pay him back?
sorry, what?
If you get into a relationship with a guy and he gives you all of this money and he takes you shopping and he pays your bills and all of that and then you break up, should you pay him back?
Probably not because he gave that to you.
Did you
Same
ta-
thing-
wait, wait,
same
wait, wait,
thing
wait,
in
wait, hold on.
way.
Did you take advantage of the situation?
I guess because it's not advantage. Those are gifts. Like, don't you ever give? If you gave your
Interesting.
daughter something, would you expect her
Interesting.
to pay you back? If you paid for her education, maybe.
I think you're missing the wild double standard he just illustrated to you here, where when women abuse men, no one gives a fuck. They can go ahead and take the gifts and everything, and it's like, oh, it is what it is. But like, if a guy goes ahead and uses a girl in the same way, it's a problem. It could be criminalized even. In other words, women don't deal. You guys don't deal well with accountability, and this kind of proves.
Women
This is the problem with
don't
feminism
sexually assault
because
men all the
feminism
time.
tells you guys you're equal on one end, but then at the same time, you guys still want to be infantilized and not held accountable for your bad sexual decisions you make with men. Like if you go with a guy that's rich and abusive or whatever, and you stay with him, like you still want everyone to feel sorry for you, and you should be able to like criminally,
It's not about feeling sorry. It's about justice.
What?
So,
the fuck is she talking about?
What's
All right, let's
we
basically
just go to the
it's
next
just going
one.
nowhere,
We
man.
just do something
Yeah,
else.
it was
Bro,
never
bro,
going nowhere
she-
15
Next
minutes
Yo, y'all
ago.
better- y'all better-
15 minutes ago.
No,
Y'all better
I
be
just,
careful,
like I
bro.
said, it's just very interesting because the reality is a lot of women think like her. Like a lot of women on college campuses
Oh, yeah,
think this way,
facts.
where it's like believe all women. It doesn't matter what the guy says or what the evidence shows. It's like the men are always culpable no matter what, and women have no sexual agency, and they should be able to, punish the guy if they don't like the outcome. The problem is this: she didn't like the outcome of the relationship, so she came back later for her pound of flesh. But the reality is that she was with him for 10 years. And things were consensual, but it wasn't until she got what she wanted, and she also wanted to make her Diddy look bad and prove to her husband that she's not a whore, that she came forward and said, oh yeah, let me go ahead and sue him for this money and you know, I was raped, etc. But a month later, she's hanging out with him, having consensual sex on and she hung up her husband's FaceTime call.
They were in a relationship.
Listen, fellas,
Wait, she,
be very, very, be
Relationship, but they were
very,
in a
very
relationship.
careful.
Yes.
This is the type of woman that you got to make sure that you talk to
No,
her with the
literally,
door open.
This audience.
Get another
please.
woman to go in there and have a conversation with you.
But
so
regret is not rape, though, is what I'm trying to explain
Don't
here.
do it,
Regret is
bro.
not rape.
So how do you feel? Hold on. How do you feel about Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion situation?
Oh, he deserves.
Free Tory.
He
That's what I'm saying.
He
Free
deserves
Tory.
where he
Umbrellas.
shot her
Tory's
in
a
the
great
leg.
man.
That is
Hey.
unfortunately the law.
so-
That's
Talk
It
the
to
just
law.
took a complete. See how I made it go
Talking to a
left?
have
child.
your opinion,
Yeah.
but
I take accountability for that.
You talking to a child.
you have your opinion, but the law is the law. I'm sorry. She didn't even call the cops on him.
I
think there was a considerable amount of evidence that shows that he didn't shoot her.
Correct.
And what it was is this? What it was? The driver, the security guard. What it was?
Just y'all better be careful, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all better be very, very careful of the type of women that y'all deal with.
Yeah, I think, and this is the problem with like this believe all women narrative is like, look, she automatically was like, yeah, he's guilty because like I feel like it. But the reality is like you had a bunch of consenting women that enjoyed the power, they enjoyed the money, they enjoyed the status of being alongside him, and when things didn't pan out the way they wanted, she left.
Yeah, she probably got mad because she's a hoe. Anyways.
That nigga's embarrassed her.
Yeah,
okay.
bro. For like 50K
Actually,
IG followers, bro.
That's a fact. Someone watching exposed her.
What?
She was
What?
She was flirting with someone's husband.
Right, what?
Well, I knew that.
We fucking.
Nigga, what y'all think that she was doing?
Bro, if your wife is on Instagram like that, damn, bro.
Look at her titties, nigga. That's just normal.
She was twerker, bro.
You got a private account.
Bro,
Not even a
wow.
private account, bro.
nigga, she was going a long time ago. I noticed that immediately.
Oh yeah, facts. Yeah,
Yeah.
facts.
That wasn't no secret.
Oh, what?
She's over here figuring out how much money niggas make. But yeah, like this is the problem, the fundamental problem. And I
I think
notice
she
this when I go on
DM'd me.
college
Give me a
campuses.
second. Let me check it.
When I go on college campuses with women, like they have this like victim thing. Like this whole rape thing is, you know, like rape culture is like a myth, right?
Why would you say that?
Okay.
Just curious,
For
just
example, like they like to run the stat and say like 1 in 5 women is sexually assaulted on a college campus. You've heard that stat probably, right?
Yeah, I've seen that stat.
Yeah, that's a bogus stat.
Oh,
because
okay.
the way they compiled that was they compiled all people that, well, number one, it was done via phone. And then number two, when they compiled that stat, if anyone consumed alcohol, they considered it a sexual assault. So if you have, technically, by using the standards they used on that test, if you go out with your wife and you guys have one cocktail together and have sex after, they would consider that a sexual assault. Because technically, according to the way they conducted the test, one drink means you can't
Yeah, she
consent.
wasn't able to consent. Yeah.
So a lot of these like
They
rape
juke the
studies
stats.
and sexual assault studies that they have, they're sensationalized. Because look, think about it. Who would send their kid to school knowing that there's a 1 in 5 chance of their kid being assaulted sexually? You know, it's just you know, it's rape hysteria. But you know, it is what it is.
Who did that?